How are you doing out there on this Tuesday, February 24th? It's been a while, Stain style, since I've been in this seat doing this program. I was off last week. Davey Thomas was kicking it in here yesterday, but I'm back rolling. SportsCage on Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries, the main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in Saskatchewan. Colson, my dog, with me on the other side of the board over there. Co-host coming up in a bit. We're going to have a lot of fun. 3 hours for you. Eric Francis is usually a Wednesday guy, but he's traveling tomorrow. Perfect, though. Let's bring in Eric Francis in hour one. We'll chat about hockey. NHL season is back tomorrow. What? Those guys that went to the Olympics. Come on. We can't expect a lot of them to play tomorrow. Can we? Eric Francis is with us in hour one. We're going to update you on the WHL standings. Moose Jaw was in action today, and they're in a dogfight for a playoff spot. They just wrapped up in Calgary. Arash Madani in hour two. Clutch performer. PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia today. We're playing for $100 at PumpJacks Cathedral, 13th and Albert. The question will be based on Canadian Olympic hockey. Men's Canadian Olympic hockey. That's late in hour two. Hour three, Glen Suitor. Glen Suitor apparently wants to go off about the UFL, XFL, something going on. He's heated. He's angry. So we'll let Glen vent. We'll also talk sprinkle of the day. I'll talk about some of the bets that I lost. We have giveaways along with the PumpJack Cathedral Trivia giveaway. We at some point are going to give away tickets to a pretty awesome concert. If you graduated like me in the mid-90s, late 90s, early 2000s, your high school, Live, Throwing Copper. What a great album. What was that, 1994? 93? They're playing Sunday in Saskatoon along with Big Wreck and Econoline Crush. CanCon covered off and the boys from Pennsylvania and Live. We have 2 tickets to give away to that concert tonight. So if you're not doing anything Sunday, you want to roll up to Saskatoon, watch Live, Big Wreck and Econoline Crush, this is the program for you today. Love when you participate. I can't even get into the text line. It's been so long that I've been logged in here. 936-6262 is the text line. Prairieland Rentals text line. Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner. Maybe you do need a snowblower / thrower. Anything you need rental. Prairieland Rentals. And then all of our guests join us on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Nothing, when you leave the area for a while, I don't know if you're like me, but when you're gone for a week, for some reason I crave Western Pizza when I get back. So that's what I did. I didn't need more calories, but I did it anyway. More Western Pizza. Western Pizza guest hotline. All of our guests join us. Okay, my co-host today, we spent 5 years together doing television up in Saskatoon, Global Sports. It was a hell of a ride. He's been on the program a number of times. It's always a pleasure when he has the day off, or he can slide us into his schedule. Harry up in Saskatoon is with us. We have not talked about Olympics and hockey and everything. So this is all going to be organic, as I like to say. Now, the one thing, I was down in the United States of America. If you listen to this program often, you get that I am somewhat pro-American. Yes, I know I'm Canadian and I'm from Canada. Sometimes I feel like I'm on the fence, to be honest with you. But I just find what happened on Sunday morning and listening to different shows now in the States, and then having a text group of American guys that are friends, that I played with, that are really good guys. They are not coming across cocky, conceited about anything at all. I find what I'm getting is just everybody is so excited about what we got for 2.5 hours of entertainment. And yes, I think at some point, is it safe to say we were going to lose? Like, it's been a pretty good run. Harry?
Yeah, for sure. There shouldn't be a lot of bravado. They really eked out a victory, if we're calling a spade a spade. Like, they were outplayed solidly for 2 periods. And not just convincingly. Like, that ice was straight downhill for the second and third period. They escaped. One of the people, I can't remember who it is off the top of my head now, was interviewed, an American player, basically played, but we got the win. And Nathan McKinnon basically said the same thing too. Like, we deserve to win. I'll let you decide who played better, but at the end of the day, it's sports, and it's not about who deserves. It's just about who ends up ahead at the end of it.
Out goaltendered, or whatever the term is, that happens in hockey all the time. And it happens in international hockey all the time. Heck, we lost to Latvia. We lost to Denmark at the World Championships last year. It just happens. And I find, though, to an extent, when I'm listening to passionate Canadian fans and friends, and not all of them, but some of them still haven't got over this. Like, they just haven't. Right. And I don't know how they do. And I there's people that can help you with that. I know that for sure. But I'm just going, can we remember how close it was with the Czechs? How close it was with the Finns? Like, and I really think that this team, it's hard to say best team ever. Like, I don't know, that's so subjective, right?
Right.
But I did not see this team getting pushed really even by the Americans. And maybe I'm not going, that's not Canadian cockiness at all. That was just my eyeballs going, well, how do you match up? Like, how do you... The Sidney Crosby, but you're deep enough. Like, really, we want to go. Nick Suzuki is not a 5-cent common. For all you hockey card collectors out there, we'll get that term. Like, he's a player. Bo Horvat's a player. Have a good year. Seth Jarvis, and what Seth Jarvis does at the Four Nations and then the Olympics, I'm like, we were good. I'm like, but it was close. Like, I can't even fathom if we would have lost to the Czechs.
Oh, for sure. I think there'd be a much more involved post-mortem about what is wrong with Canadian hockey had we not even made the medal round. But you and I have discussed this numerous times, and over the years, when it's a single game tournament, a hot goaltender can mean the difference between winning and losing. That's how Latvia wins games like that, because their goalie catches lightning in a bottle, makes 45 saves, and steals a game. It happens in every level. It happens at the World Juniors. It happens at the Olympics. It happens anytime you have a single game type of format where you're assembling best on best from countries. Anybody can win on any given night. The gap has closed so much across the world in terms of skill level that, and we've discussed this during the World Juniors, gone are the days of 10-1 games, gone are the days of 16-1, 16-0. It's the skill level is so tight all the way across the board that anybody can win on any given night, especially when you talk and throw a hot goaltender into the mix. And Connor Hellebuck's no scrub either, to quote TLC. It's not like he just came out of nowhere and they're like, who's this Hellebuck guy? Like, he's got a resume.
It's the international where it's like, he plays Div 3 in Lithuania. No, that's not what it was. It was legit. I feel, though, for Winnipeg Jet fans now that are kind of like, can you give us some of that? You know, last year in the playoffs, like, I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs this year, which is just baffling. As a whole, and what we saw and how it went down, like, am I a grow the game of hockey guy? it doesn't pay my bills. I don't need to grow the game of hockey personally. Maybe that's selfish. I don't know. Like, I think the hockey in Canada is I don't know exactly. You'd have to look up the data, or we'd have to get the data. Registration numbers have to be down. Just our country is changed. Our country is different. The makeup of our country is very different. So a lot of families aren't putting their kids into hockey. A, it's expensive. B, a lot of them have no idea what it is. It's like, here, I want you to get these boots and these pieces of metal on the bottom and then go twirl around out there. They're just like, what? No. So, but for the fans, or just for people entertainment wise, if you're watching that game on Sunday, you are going, this is a movie. Like, how well, this has got to be scripted. The guy gets his teeth taken out. It's like what you think. If you don't know hockey and you're just kind of like, oh yeah, they always joke about how the guys lose their teeth. Well, that happened in this game, and then he goes and scores. It's like, how, if like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's like me watching soccer. I love watching it at the highest level. Sign me up, especially if you can gamble on it. I'm all in. But I'm like, I don't know the ins and outs, and then a guy flops, and then there's some sort of weird penalty kick. I'd be like, okay, yeah, it's like a storybook. That's how it's supposed to happen. And if you just are totally clueless on hockey and you sat down for 2.5 hours and watched it, and the entertainment and the back and forth, and I purposely listened to state-run media, CBC in Canada here, and I also listened to NBC, and just got both. Kenny Albert, funny-looking dude, but man, does he call a great game. Like, unbelievable. And Eddie Olchuk. Their intermission, was okay, but then also our intermission in Canada, it's like, do we really need like 5 people up there? Like, the panel? Like, I think a lot of people were talking about it. It's like, come on. But just the game and what people saw on that Sunday morning is unbelievable. Does it grow the game? I don't know. I'm curious on your comment. I don't know. Maybe somebody will all of a sudden go, I'm going to watch hockey. I'm going to watch the Jets and Utah coming up. I don't think so.
Right. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. One, in terms of growing the game, it's the same argument that I think of. I'm baffled why McDonald's still advertises. Is there people that have never heard of McDonald's that are like, oh, I'll try that McDonald's place I heard about? It's kind of like hockey. Are people that are still like, what's this hockey game I keep hearing so much about? I'm going to give it a shot, and it's intriguing. Maybe I'll endeavor to undertake that sport. No, I think the Olympics as a whole do that. Grow sport. Before I get to that point, that's what's beautiful about sports, is that you can't make the stuff up. Like, it just happens, and the things that happen are so magical and insane and unscripted, and you just can't, like the Hughes thing is, you can't make that up. You could put 1,000 writers in a room with 1,000 typewriters and they wouldn't be able to come up with that kind of story. But I think the Olympics as a whole is a perfect thing. There are little boys and girls out there that will watch events that they see in the Olympics that they've never seen before and say, that looks like something I would like to do. Especially some of the aerial skiing stuff, or figure skating, or things that they don't get to see on a regular basis. I think the message should be more of grow sport in Canada rather than just grow hockey. We should be more than just a hockey nation. And so I think just the whole Olympics is perfect for just growing sport, because I think sports is such a huge role in developing youth and members of society, and they teach so many life lessons being involved in sports, whether it's individual or team. And that should be the message that we take away from the Olympics, is grow sport, not just grow one sport.
So, quick search here. Hockey Canada numbers for last year, they had over 603,000 registered players in their sanctioned programs, which year over year was a 2.4% increase.
Okay.
Since 2022, they've experienced a 12% increase in men and boys and a 30% increase in women and girls.
Okay.
They are still growing, And I think it was, in 12 of their 13 members, that's the provinces and territories, in 12 of 13, there was growth. So only one of, I would guess a territory maybe, experienced a decline. And a quick touch on the Jack Hughes Miracle on Ice. If you haven't seen it making the rounds on social media, in the Miracle on Ice movie,
that's crazy.
Jack Hughes gets cut.
And that's a legit story.
Yeah.
Jack Hughes was one of the last cuts in the 1980 team. Obviously a different Jack Hughes. Born in the 50s, I think. I read it. And then he comes back and, what we see on Sunday. Harry, you must have been all over that.
Yeah, it's insane. Is it a different Jack Hughes? Or did he hop in his DeLorean?
Reincarnated.
And yeah, that's like a mind blower. Like you just can't make stuff like that up. Like that's insane.
I like James. I like when James texts in on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Really like James. I like everyone who's texting in. I haven't talked to you guys in a few weeks. He says, pro-American, Barney? Watch yourself. Why is that such a bad thing? I don't get it. I lived with these people. Some of the nicest people I know are from there. And I just visited them last week. Guys that took me into their house and treated me like better than, and I remember a story when we were in Montana with some friends years ago, and they did not want to go. That's your prerogative. If you don't want to go to the States, if you hate it that much, don't go. That's fine. I get that. I'm sure there's other countries that people boycott as well. These people came down with us. We went down. Their vehicle broke down right outside of Whitefish, Montana, driving to Kalispell. A lot of you have been there. You know what I'm talking about. 2 people stopped. Help them get to a station, a garage to get it fixed. They basically charged them cost on everything, got them up and running and out. And I was like, man, those damn Americans. Wasn't that a bad experience for you? And they're like, yeah, can't really believe it. So I get it. So James, sorry, I love it. I find it very hypocritical with a lot of friends that I have that go transfer payments. I hate the Toronto. I hate the Eastern. I hate this. And then they're rah. And I'm like, well, what side are you on here, man? Like you're pissed about it, and then you're all that. I love it. What happened for the sport? I love what happened for entertainment purposes. Speaking of the Olympics, Harry, the one thing I couldn't wrap my head around. The story on how and Arash talked about this before we went on break. The Canadian bobsled team had to get a used sled from Germany, and how that became a story. I'm like, come on. Like, how embarrassing is that? Did anyone call Brandt Industries and be like, hey, can you help us get a bobsled? Like, we had to buy like a used or get a used bobsled. I don't know. How do you even do that? Is it like Berlin Marketplace and you'd place a bid and then you'd get it over? Like, is there a Kijiji? Come on. But the other sport that I thought too when you're watching it as a kid, that's ski cross. Sign me up for watching ski cross. That, and I know the couple of the Canadians are pissed off because the conditions weren't great. It's a mountain, buddy. What did you, like, doesn't that happen when you're racing down a mountain? Like, sometimes the conditions can be a little iffy. I don't know. I've never done it, but I've skied, and I know sometimes it's beautiful out and there's sunshine, and then other times it's snowing and you're in powder. I don't know. So ski cross, and then short track speed skating. They're psycho. I love it. Like, gambling on short track speed skating should be way more popular because they got those long arse blades and they're ripping around corners, and of course somebody's going to get taken out, and then they slide into the padding, and the rink is so small. It's like they're all ripping around the Balfour Arena. And it's like, well, of course somebody's going to fall here. It's like, she's number 1 in the world. She is a 2-time defending world champion, and she bites it on the first lap. Yeah, because they're all right beside each other, and their skates are this big.
I felt the same thing watching the Team Pursuit speed skating, where they're all like touching. It's one little clipped blade away from total annihilation. And it's just amazing the precision that those athletes have. I I was a huge fan of the ski mountaineering, which was the new event this year. I thought that was visually spectacular, especially because it was on a snowy day and the snowflakes were the size of quarters, and just the atmosphere was just unbelievable and just such a cool event to see, and way better than breakdancing for new events.
Yeah, I think for me, I can almost watch any winter Olympic sport. Biathlon, I found myself watching biathlon, and I'm like, because they get to the targets, and you can just watch them breathing to try and calm things down, and I'm like, I have so many questions. I want to know how. I want to know what. How did you get into this? How do you learn that? Does that benefit you in other high stress situations of your life? Have you ever thought about being a pilot? I don't know. Like, it's just, there's so much to it. Figure skating. I've always sat there on the edge of my seat and thought, like, seriously, like, you trained for how many years? And now you have this moment. It's like the skiing. It's like the jump. I get all that. And then if one stupid thing happens, kaput. It's sign me up.
What they do for 4 years, what they put their bodies through, what they sacrifice, and to either lose by a 100th of a second, or to stumble out of the gate, or just some sort of the Swedish team cross country relay. The one girl first out of the chute falls and wipes out, and it costs them the gold. They still won silver. But if you're the other three teammates on the sideline who have yet to go, how are you feeling about? We're done. We've lost. Like, Anka blew it for us, and we didn't even have a factor in our own Olympic dream. Like, we didn't even control our own destiny. She blew it. She lost right off the bat. And then how does she feel? Like, it's just highest of highs to the lowest of lows being an Olympic athlete, I think, because you put so much into it and sacrifice so much, and it can go so wrong so fast.
I enjoyed it front to back. It was kind of coming up and I'm like, oh yeah, like, the hockey's the last thing. It's done. There's no more Olympic stuff. The one thing I will not miss, and I want to hear from you out there, 936-6262. I don't know what platform you were watching the Olympics on, because nowadays, like, I don't know, what is it? 50% of people, less than 50% of people actually have cable. There's, it's like cut the cord and everyone's streaming. But I will never, if I never, ever, ever, ever have to see the Ontario commercial again on how great they're doing, building their economy and all that garbage, if I never have to see that again, I will be okay. It's like easy. And they're making it look so great. We're building pipelines and we're building nuclear reactors. And and then the one comment was, we are standing up and fighting for every job. No, you're not. That's a claim. Every job? You just said every. No, you didn't. Do you know what commercial I'm talking about? I don't know what you were watching.
100%. No, 100%. I do. I saw it numerous times.
Oh, man. And then I have a question. We'll take a break here and we'll come back with Eric Francis. And then I have a question for both of you from my brain. So, of course, it's a little bit weird. I have a question on if a Canadian Olympian was the first to do this, and it's from our time. Now we see it happen all the time, but was a Canadian Olympian the first to do it? I'll ask that question when we get back. Eric Francis is going to be with us. It's the Sports Cage on Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries. We'll be right back. All right, we're going to get to some of your text messages in a bit here. There's some really good ones coming in. I'll apologize. I'm not going to read them right now. I'm all crooked up here too, ain't I, Colson? There we go. It's been so long. I haven't been around. Mr. Eric Francis, how you look angry. Are you mad at me?
No, I'm excited for you to remind me how much I won in our little bet. But anyway, that's not what this is about. I'm not angry.
Colson, do you remember what the bet was? I think it was a night. It was one of the nights in Vegas. I have to. It's buy a few cocktails, and then that's where I said we would go down to Slots of Fun because they still have $1.50 beer and like $1 hot dogs. So we'll explore with the locals.
Memory is a funny thing, isn't it? Because I seem to recall it involving a meal at Hell's Kitchen in Vegas, and then drinks all night long. But anyway, we have the tape. We can pull it.
Okay.
We should remind everyone, like the bet was, and I'll preface it again, and I'm not gloating. The bet was that the U.S. would win the Olympics. I think we made it even before the tournament started. I know we did, and I've been scared of that moment for 30 years, my friends. I've said this many times on the day that they would win the biggest moment in hockey, and they did it, and they did it on the women's side. They did it at the World Championships. They're 3 for 3 right now. It's a scary point in time. We were the better team. I get it, and I like our chances still moving forward, but damn it, they got us, and the only silver lining I've got is a wicked night out in Vegas, courtesy of Barney.
We got to pull a tape because now as we talk, it's like, or was it double or nothing? Because I won the Four Nations bet for the whatever. We're gonna have to pull the tape for sure. But you bring up a good point in how the last 3 they've won. But Eric, when you sit back and think about it, it was unbelievable. We could say how the ice was tilted and we got out goalied in 3-on-3. Maybe that shouldn't have been the way to go down, but you know the rules going in. This was bound to happen, wasn't it?
That's my point. You know, like they played great. You know, I'm actually buoyed by the fact that, you know, Canada was the better team. They just weren't opportunistic. And my theory is, you know, obviously it's well documented. Their goalie stood on their head, and Calgary in Canada missed a million grade A opportunities. Like, if I were to give you a list of, okay, you get 3 chances in this game, I'm going to give you a breakaway, 2 breakaways, and an empty net at the side of the net. Who would you want to take them all? It would be Celebrini, it would be McDavid, it would be McKinnon, and yet none of them, you know, went in. But the other thing that I think is part of it too is, and then there's the Taves play. Oh God! But the other thing is, you know, Canada was getting a lot of bounces, some good calls. They were just having some good fortune in the previous 2 games that got them there. There were some pretty big scares that we went through in those 2, you know, play down games. And I just think I don't want to say luck, but for lack of a better term, our luck ran out. The fortuitous bounces, the call that, you know, the offside or the too many men call that should have probably been called in the game. None of those things kind of went Canada's way at the end, and that was also part of the difference as well.
Our good fortune.
Yeah.
We'll call it good fortune.
Like our good fortune. Yeah, our good fortune. That's it. Like, I'm not going to say luck had anything to do with it because it didn't. They won fair and square, and you know, but it still sucks. It's a crappy moment in Canadian hockey history right now.
I was really impressed with Jordan Binnington.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, and again, just like Four Nations, we're like, really? Who saw that coming? And even in that game, when it got into overtime, I remember thinking, even then, again, it's all based on fear. He's going to let in the goal, and everyone's going to go, at the end of the day, it really was. Goaltending was the difference. But you can't, I mean, I guess you could still say goaltending was the difference because Hellebuck was by far the best player in the game. But that's through no fault of Binnington's. He deserves a ton of credit. We can already start the debate on who the goalie candidates are going to be in 4 years from now, can't we?
Oh, my. Harry, that is one thing that I texted Harry this morning, and it's all over social media where people have the rosters for 2030. And I don't know if you are probably with your Sportsnet and the Calgary Sun and everything you do. Can you legally slap people? Because you're going to be hit with this. You're going to be hit with this question like all the time now. Well, what do you think? Is Landon Dupont going to be there? Is Maddox Schultz, who's playing AAA midget for the Pat Canadians? Like, really, it's like, can we stop? Can we stop? I don't want to do it. I'm not doing it. I'm boycotting that.
No, I get it. I've seen the list. And, I find it interesting, but I'm not going to sit here and debate anybody on it. That's ridiculous. Like, you kidding me? Gavin McKenna's already penciled in and on the second line. Kid hasn't even been drafted. I did get Landon Dupont. Don't get me wrong. I think he will go first overall or something like that. But I'm not ready to start saying in 4 years from now he's going to be that good that he's patrolling the blue line with Matthew Schaefer. So, I will go down the path of, is there any chance Sid will still be on the team in 4 years?
Oof.
And my quick answer is no. At age 42, he just demonstrated to us that even if he could have gone in that game, he knew better than to take up a spot that could otherwise be occupied by someone who's just healthier, faster, in better position to help the team. In 4 years from now, he's still going to, if he's still playing, I don't know. Can we weigh in on that? I say no. He can't be there.
Yeah, 42. Like 42 in 2020, 42 in 2030 is, and we've talked about this before, how 42 right now isn't our dads and moms 42s. Like, you look back at your pictures of your mom and dad when they were 42, they looked 75, right? And it's just different. Sidney Crosby would play in the next Olympics if he wasn't Canadian or American, right? Because you know how there's always that Slovakian team or Denmark or some weird country, and it's like, yeah, this guy, he plays like pickup men's, and he plays in the third division, and he's 45, and he's out there dangling. For Canada, that's probably a stretch. Harry?
I mean,
yeah.
Bellemare was playing for France, and he's 41, and his NHL career is long behind him. And it can be done. It's just a matter of whose spot is he taking. I guess as we were talking, I thought, okay, just playing devil's advocate of what a 40, 41-year-old can bring to the table. Do you think that there's any way in hell that right now, who's 40 years old in the NHL? Brent Burns is the first guy that I think of. Could Brent Burns have been a sixth or seventh defenseman? And take into consideration that Brent Burns is no Sidney Crosby. So now you think of Sidney Crosby at 40, if he's still operating on a high enough level that he could be a third line guy, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. I definitely don't.
Yeah.
Just if it was anybody else, if it was Braden Point who was 40, or if it was, I don't know, somebody else who's older, maybe not. But Crosby, I would not write him off quite yet.
Yeah, and Drew Doughty was on the team, and they wanted to bring him back because of the experience. That was part of why they brought him back. They know they could count on him. He's still out playing at a relatively high level, but he wasn't going to be counted on like top pairing like he was in 2014. So look, a guy that great, we at least owe him the possibility that he could be doing it, not as a first line guy, but even this tournament he was a second or third line guy. So yeah, I could see the discussion, but I just don't know if Sid's going to want to play that long.
Beaster on the text line, I will throw this one out, and this was a debate going in, and it will be, and who knows where we are in 4 years from now. But he says, I'm curious if the gold medal game would have been the same two teams if Russia was there. Hard to say. I don't know. You look at what their roster could have been. For sure, on paper, great roster. The worst thing you can do, and we've seen it, you don't even have to be an NHL insider, is to say this team can't be beat because look at them on paper. It's not how the sport works, Eric.
No. I mean, no. And like I haven't spent much time thinking about Russia because I 100% agree with them not being included in the tournament and at the Olympics. But politics aside, I'm more interested in having a debate as to how good Canada Team 2 would be in a tournament like that. You know, like if Canada were allowed to put in 2 teams and they weren't split evenly, they were tiered. Like there's the A team that we saw and the B team. I think the B team would have just as good a chance as any team in the tournament to get into the medal round, into the medals.
Yeah. Ooh,
Well,
I don't know. You got to come up with 17 guys. I don't know. I know Canada's deep as a country, but 17 that can compete with Finland, Canada, the U.S., Sweden. The
problem would probably be goaltending, right? I mean, it was already thin enough at the top level, so I get that. But and you wouldn't have that juggernaut power play like Canada relied on to get to the final. So, no, look, it's another exercise for someone to do after this. They could just Google what would Team 2 have looked like for Team Canada, and you'd be pretty wide-eyed going, man, I forget just how damn deep we are. And yeah, up against Finland or Russia or the U.S., maybe not, but I think that they, when it comes down to a one game in the playdowns, I think they could do some damage.
I was actually, and just as for the game goes, I talked about this when we started the show. Like, if you don't know anything about hockey, which a lot of people that watched it didn't, and that's fine. That's okay. If you haven't been in the country very long, or you're an American and you don't watch hockey, that's cool. But if you watch that game, Eric, and you really sit there and think about it, it's like a movie. It's like, hold on. The guy, he did lose his teeth. Like, that's what I hear about all the time. Like, hockey players, they lose their teeth. He lost his teeth. He keeps playing, and then he scores the goal. For the sport and the entertainment value, it's like, I don't know. That's tough to beat.
Oh, and then add to that the fact that, even if you are a casual fan, Jack Hughes loses his teeth and then takes a 4-minute minor in the final 5 minutes of the game, and it's pretty clear that he's about to become the biggest GOAT in America. And 20 minutes later, he's a national hero, and he's the face of the Olympics. If they found the tooth or fragments of the tooth, they should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Like, it's ridiculous, but, and then the whole Gaudreau thing, that added a layer that made even soften the Americans. No matter how much you hate America, or the politics, or just Team America at the Olympics and what a threat they pose, or you hate the Kachucks, when you saw that moment with Gaudreau, you even had to go, well, okay, that's pretty beautiful. And so it did have all the elements, like you said. The only thing that they could have maybe added were a few more goals, because people like goals. But for the diehards, we understand that was just a brilliantly played hockey game.
Have you guys ever dug into the story on the Hughes family? I didn't know this until Sunday night when I was searching how the mother played for the United States international team. It was like 92, so it was before the Olympics in 98. Hockey, lacrosse, and soccer at the University of New Hampshire. Then she coached and then meets the dad, and he's a minor pro hockey player, and then he's coaching and doing all that. So they were born in, I think, Florida. Then they grow up in Mississauga. Then they go to this. I had no idea. I don't know how much, Eric, do you know about that story?
No, to be honest, I haven't delved into it too much. I should know more about them. I know more about the Stalls than I do about the Hugheses.
And the
pretty
Kachucks,
incredible
well.
too. You talk about storylines. Like, you had two pairs of brothers on the gold medal winning team. Like, that in itself is an incredible story, and you just couldn't have. Well, you could have written a better script, because it could have ended a little better, in our opinion. But in terms of where the movies are made in the States, you could not have written a better script. Like, if they have a movie for The Miracle on Ice, you can bet yourself that I don't know how many years it's going to have to be from now. We'll probably all be dead. But when they finally make the movie on what just happened, it'll be pretty incredible too.
Can we go back to Binnington for a second?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm thinking here is Jordan Binnington has been blessed with the fact that he won a Stanley Cup very early. And then it's well documented his struggles since then. Now, what makes me think of it is that goaltending, a hockey goalie, a professional hockey goalie, it's for the argument of what is the toughest position sport to play, goalie has to be right up there because it is so unforgiving in nature. Now, if Jordan Binnington had not won a Stanley Cup, he would have been written off by St. Louis years ago. Now, how many other goalies have been not made it, been given up on by their teams because of inconsistent play? What it does is shows that how bad a goalie can play if he does not have a team in front of him. Jordan Binnington is last in a lot of statistical categories in the NHL. He goes to the Olympics and plays unbelievable. He goes to the Four Nations and plays unbelievable. So I feel like two things. One, it definitely brings goaltender into the conversation of what's the toughest position sport to play. And it's unforgiving. And two, it really emphasizes how important it is to play on a good team in front of you as a goaltender to be able to have a long career.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's always been the case. You juggle. There are advanced stats now that, you know, can dig a little deeper into just how bad the team is and how much workload that, you know, I can't stand saves above expected and all this garbage. Like this, there's so many of them, but I do see how a lot of them just kind of illustrate your point that if he was on a better team, he'd have a better chance because he wouldn't be facing as many of these grade A chances that they document and all that. Before stats, you just look and just go, well, yeah, he'd probably be better on a better team, but we have no stats to back it up. Well, now you've got advanced stats to kind of prove that point. And there were some advanced stats that showed that Binnington was okay, but most of them showed that he's even worse than he's been this year in the National Hockey League. And really, at the end of the day, especially because there was no clear-cut guy to start, you have to go with your gut. And, you know, Barney, I know you've coached and stuff like that, and you just go with guys that you trust. There's no stronger bond between a player and a coach than the ability to trust them. And they trusted Binnington. I don't know if they did going into Four Nations, you know, but they sure had to trust him going into the Olympics because of what he did at Four Nations.
Okay, on Friday, we'll talk more NHL because I can't believe it fires up again tomorrow night. It's crazy. But before I let you go, I said I was going to ask you both a question. Start with you, Eric. I don't remember in my lifetime ever seeing anyone bite a medal before Elizabeth Manley. And now we see it all the time. Summer, Winter Olympics. Am I crazy to say, did Elizabeth Manley start that?
That's a great Google search. I never thought of it. Like, she is a famous one for sure. For the older people like you and I, we remember that one in Calgary in the '88 games. But it's, you know, it's not. It's a great question. It's a great Google search that I'm going to throw it together as soon as this is over. But you know, I also, you guys were talking earlier about putting 4 years of your life or 8 years or your whole life on the line for an Olympic event, which is insane to me. I was there when Jeremy Witherspoon, who is still considered one of the greatest speed skaters of all time, and I was at Salt Lake City on the starting line. I'd written 1 million articles leading up to the games. He was the favorite in the World Cup leader, and he fell out of the starting blocks. And then Perdita Felicien, a couple years later, I'm in Athens. Same thing. I watch her face plant into a hurdle. Like, you can't imagine how these people, A, could do that, but B, how do you recover from that? Like, Jeremy went on to win 100 more World Cup races and millions more dollars. Perdita is now a broadcaster based a little bit on the infamy that she gained from that race. Anyway, I want to hear your answer. Do you think Elizabeth Manley was the first to bite into the medal?
That's a a rabbit hole you could go down. I have no idea.
I told you it was a dumb question, but I'm sitting there because now when they take the pictures, the camera guy, the one I was watching, they said bite it. So then they want them to bite it, and I'm like, that's Elizabeth's move. Leave that for 88. Yeah. She had good salad. She had a good run.
Great teeth too, and you wonder if that whole idea, whether it was Elizabeth or someone else, whether it all started and goes back to when we were children and you'd have those chocolate covered coins. Is that why she bit into it? She was thinking about that. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And those are the days that we had the original blue whales. Then they had to go and change them. Why did someone have to change? Hey, you know what we do? You know what we were going to talk about today? Now we're out of time. The bring your own cereal. We're going to have the cereal thing at some point. Best cereal of all time. We'll have to do it when Harry's here because he likes his cereal, or he used to. Yeah,
he does.
Okay,
he still does.
We'll do it because my BYOC party for the gold medal game, bring your own cereal.
Yeah.
We had eight couples, and they all brought. I was kind of joking about it, because my wife was making food anyway, but they brought eight different boxes. Like I would have thought there would have been some repeats.
Let's go.
But
We're going to go down a rabbit hole, and we're up against the clock. We can't do it. Talk to you Friday, buddy. Travel safe.
See you, boys. Cheers.
Bye. Eric Francis, NHL Insider, brought to you by Sports Select. Make your picks online now. You generate a QR code and go to your Lotto Spot retailer, scan it. There you go. Every bet is 100% legal, and you must be 18 plus to play. Play with the original cash in hand. Sports Select. Break time. We're up against the clock. It is a Sports Cage. We'll be right back. I promise to get to some of your text messages in the next hour. YouTube and the Prairie Line Rentals text line. Sorry about that. As for ticker, Saskatchewan teams in action in the Western Hockey League. It was an afternoon affair, a Hawaiian breakfast special. Moose Jaw Warriors were in Calgary. The Hitmen 5-4 win. A big 2 points squandered there. They went out to a 3-0 lead and dumped the Warriors. The other Saskatchewan team in action tonight, Swift Current Broncos, are home to the Penticton Vs. SJ tonight, Melville welcomes Larange. Nipawin travels to Flin Flon. How about a Senior A Game 2 up in Kenaston? The Blizzards up 1-0, hosting Foam Lake in their best of 3A matchup. 8 p.m. is puck drop there. Big Bantam AA game at the Ritchie with playoff implications. Weyburn, Regina Aces, 7:45. The SportsCage.com poll today. Do you think Connor McDavid should be labeled as can't win the big game? Ooh, you can vote at SportsCage.com. Switch to Reliant Heat. Get $200 cash back with your new water heater. Some conditions apply. Call on Reliance. We'll go to break. We'll come back. Arash Madani. PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia next hour, chance to win, and a whole lot more. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. All right, welcome back. Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage. I said I would get to some of your text messages from hour one. Sorry. Harry's with me. Colson's on the other side of the board. Arash Madani is standing by. James, first, I'm going to read this, James. And because I don't know if we're going to get in trouble for it. Maybe.
Ooh.
But James says... It's a story about Kenny Albert. If it's true that his dad, legend Marv Albert, do you know the story, Harry, where I'm going?
Yes.
Dressed up in women's gear off the air. David Letterman asked him, Marv, what were you thinking? Marv says, I was curious. Letterman responds, Marv, when I'm curious, I turn on the Discovery Channel. I've never heard that story. You've heard it?
Yes, and he was actually charged with assault on a female, bit her back, an escort that he had gotten while he was engaged in his pursuits. Yeah, and he was. That's when it came out that he liked to dress in women's clothing at the time.
Oh, okay. Kyle sent one. Colson, I haven't proof this one because it's too small. Kyle about biting down on the medals. I asked. I don't know. I remember Elizabeth Manley, the first one.
So the one he sent.
So I did a little research.
There's a few tweets going around about how when Brady Tkachuk wins a medal, it doesn't matter what color it's going to be. He's going to spend the next 30 minutes trying to unwrap the chocolate in it.
Oh, Harry, you did research?
Yeah, so she's not the first to do it. It's kind of been it's been a thing since about the 80s. Swimmers started doing it at the prompting of photographers. It goes back to them testing the gold, because real gold is pretty soft, and they don't make the medals out of real gold anymore. And so you bite into it to see if it's real gold. It's a way of testing coins back in the day. So it's just a photo op. The photographers kind of latched onto it, and they won't let it go because it's just such an iconic thing, and they like the look of it.
Informational program we run here on a Tuesday for Saskatchewan Lotteries. That's good stuff. Jeffrey on the YouTube chat, because you talked about McDonald's in hour one, and you're like, why does McDonald's still advertise it as a guy that's in advertising and marketing? I get why they still do, but his was why does it? And I wish, and if anybody knows, it has to be, does anyone have a jug of this? Let's have a party. The McDonald's orange drink. Like, if you're in our demographic, Colson has no idea what we're talking about. Like, that was at every sock hop, every fun night, every whatever with your school, your buddy's birthday party that his parents actually cheaped out, but you thought they were awesome because they had McDonald's orange drink. They used to give the containers. They trusted people back then. Imagine that now.
Yep. I used to drive. I was probably about a 10-year gap. I used to love McDonald's orange drink. I still do if I could find it. I remember going through a McDonald's drive-thru probably about 10, 15 years ago and asking for orange drink, because that's what it was called, orange drink. And they'd be like, oh, orange pop? I'm like, no. It's not orange pop. It's orange drink. And they had no idea what I was talking about. So they just got away from it. I don't know why. I wish they would bring it back. Orange drink was amazing.
I just remember, like, it was the container,
the yellow jug with the red lid.
Yeah, but before that, they would mix it, because I remember at King George School, and I think it was Fun Night. When schools used to have Fun Night? It was awesome. Yeah. And then they would pour it in that big yellow with the red lid that McDonald's let you just borrow and be like, yeah, you'll bring it back. Yeah, for sure. Like, in 2026, there is no way. Like, that thing is ending up at May Long Weekend. People are drinking out of it, putting whatever. Anyway, and then you would have to the concoction was, I don't know what the what's the word I'm looking for? The 4-to-1 ratio. Yeah. Because if you were off a bit and that thing was extra sweet, it was when you're a kid, you're like, Jimmy's mom's awesome. Like, this thing is so sweet, we're bouncing off the walls. Oh.
That orange stuff was pure syrup. It was like maple syrup consistency.
Pure. Yeah. People always talk about, and I think people just do it just because. People always talk about McDonald's bringing back the pizza. No one wants that garbage. McDonald's pizza was horse crap. We want the orange drink. McDonald's cookies, 100%. Garbage. McDonald's apple pies, not very good.
Right.
This is a whole orange topic drink for another day. I don't want to even start this now. I have never been in the presence of someone in my 48 years on this planet. I've never been with someone that has ordered a fillet of fish. How is that even on the menu? I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring it up now. Another time. McDonald's orange drink. I tell you. Okay, keep the text messages coming. 936-6262 Prairieland Rentals text line, and you can even send them through on the YouTube if you're watching the program today. Let's go with Arash.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
I know Bulls fan on the YouTube chat is down in Florida, I think. I don't know if Ed on the YouTube chat. They're both saying that orange drink is still alive and well in the U.S. I was just there. I'm going back next month. Now, obviously, I have to go to McDonald's and look like a total idiot and be like, do you have the orange drink?
They have a little more flexible FDA regulations in the United States than we do in Canada.
Yes, they do. Remember, I can't believe it's not butter. I remember when I moved down there, I was 18, I moved down there and I was like, what? I can spray this everywhere? And I'm like, why don't we have this in Canada? And then I think it was my sister. She's like, I don't know. I'm on a diet. Bring it back for me. It's because it's full of garbage. Anywho, Arash, you must have
It took us an extra 5 years. It took us an extra 5 years to get Red Bull just because it's so toxic down there.
So I'm going to sound ancient here, fellas, when I tell you the price. When I was in university, I went to a small school, Bishop's University in the middle of nowhere, Quebec. Like 2,000, 2,200 undergraduate students, something like that. It was a party school. I'll just preface it with that. But in those days, McDonald's on Sundays had 69-cent cheeseburgers.
Oh, mama.
On hangover Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, whenever someone's parents would come to town, they'd, like, leave some cash behind, whatever. Like, you know, I live with 5 other guys. So there's 6 of us. And we'd go to McDonald's, we'd order 100 cheeseburgers for Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. Mrs. S's thing is, I told you this before, I think, is the McDonald's cheeseburger charcuterie board. When we have to go to a potluck.
There you go.
It's like, yeah. And you ever go back in time when someone would order just the hamburger in the white wrapping? What are you, insane? The cheese is so bad for you.
The yellow wrap.
What are you doing? Who are you trying to kid? I'm off cheese.
Who are you fooling? Who are you fooling?
It's not even cheese. You can still be off cheese and have that cheese.
Yeah,
I'll never forget going in there with 2 other guys, and we ordered 100.
Yeah.
Awesome. To bring back everyone.
Crazy.
And the look on the cashier's face of like, you know, because it's a Sunday, they think it's going to be quiet. There's only 2 of them working. Yeah, we'll have 100, please. And then they started limiting after a little while. It was like a maximum of 4 per person.
And you guys just show up there reeking of Lucky Lager from the night before. And I gave us 100.
And
we're going to get 100.
Don't forget the regret, Barney.
Yeah.
We're also reeking of regret.
How much money do you have? I don't know. I'm going to buy 100 cheeseburgers.
You're like digging under, you know, couch cushions, like looking for loonies and tuna. Hey, like a toonie was a big deal, you know?
Oh, the $2 bill. That's a sexy looking bill. They should bring that pink thing back. That was a thing of beauty. Hey, did you guys ever order an animal burger from A&W? Harry, I know you would have crushed one of those, wouldn't you have?
No.
5 patties.
Like the Monster Burger.
Animal burger, 5 patties. I thought it was an old wives' tale until I was in Lloydminster at a Bantam hockey tournament. And my first year Bantam, the last thing I should have been eating was more cheeseburgers. But I ordered a Monster Burger from the A&W in Lloydminster. Sure enough, 5 patties.
It's a lot of meat.
You know, and all us old heads are saying, hey, look, we ended up okay. And I'm like, no, but you're missing something. We're not okay. Like, that's the thing. Like, there's a screw to lose. I don't know how, why, where. But I certainly can tell you when some moments along the way led to this.
I got a doctor's appointment next week because the last 2 weeks I've been having weird chest pains. You might want to pull this tape if anything happens, Colson. I was down in Phoenix. I was sleeping on my one side, and I'm like, this isn't good. I've had a lot of stress in my life the last 2 weeks. I'm like, this doesn't feel really good. So then what did we do that morning? We went to Waffle House.
Yeah. Just so you need extra syrup, bacon on the side.
No, man, their white gravy is unbelievable on their hash browns. Okay, I want to ask you, Olympics, obviously it's only a few days away. We could probably talk about it forever because it's a slow time in sports. First, I think I saw you on social media or something. What's your stance on it being 3-on-3 to decide that hockey game?
So I'm against it, but it's not because of the result. Like the moment that horn went off in the third period, that was my take. That this, like an Olympic champion, cannot be determined in 3-on-3. It's not hockey. It's not what you've played for the previous 60 minutes. You know, to decide a football game, we're not all of a sudden going to go play 7-on-7. It's not the same game. And so whether or not Canada would have won or lost, it has nothing to do with that. And then today, the IIHF, Chris Johnston from The Athletic reported this, that the IIHF is sticking their heels in the ground. They're not even going to have a discussion about this. They're going to continue with this moving forward. What are we doing? Like, I get in regular season, you want to fit within a TV window, all those kinds of things. But a gold medal game, to determine an Olympic champion, that is not the way you go about your business.
I think the thing that bugs me about it is that they keep citing like the closing ceremonies, and it can't go on forever. Like they make it sound like it's going to go on for 3 days if they allow it to go sudden death overtime 5-on-5. Like, so it takes an extra hour. Like it's not that big a deal. I hate that argument that's the position they seem to be taking, is that, well, we got the closing ceremonies. Well, then move the gold medal final a day earlier. Like there's so many workarounds that this is a hill that they're just like, nope, it's where it is and we're not changing it. Just seems a little short-sighted.
No, it seems a lot short-sighted. It seems absurd. Like you're deciding medals, you're deciding histories, you're deciding legacies. And look, we all know the Olympics are a TV product. That's what they really are. Fully understood. But I agree with you, Harry, man. Like if it's about that, then do it this way. They didn't do it 3-on-3 Vancouver 2010, and everything ended up okay when it went to overtime. So
yeah, but they did 4-on-4.
4-on-4,
which is even
fine with.
I feel that even more weird. It's like, what? When do you ever see 4-on-4 unless it's a rec tournament in Vonda? I don't know. You've been around a lot of Olympics. Like, how does the IOC operate? Are they so strong-headed? Where does the IIHF and the IOC, are they all together? And how does it all work?
The IOC is not going to tell the IIHF or any international sports federation guys how to run their sport and govern their sport. What they will tell the IIHF is, at X time, your game, your event needs to be over. So it's up to the IIHF to then decide how things are going to proceed. All the IOC cares about is that somebody's going to win, is that they're cashing the check, and that the closing ceremony is going to start on time without conflict. That's it. Literally, that's it. So this comes down to the IIHF. And for the life of me, I don't understand it. To me, why not have the women's gold medal game the same day as the men's gold medal game, or the day before? Why are there so many days in between? Why are we trying to put a square peg in a round hole and try and jam everything in? I get it, to gouge. It is the Olympics. But this is ultimately the decision of the governing body of hockey internationally. And this is they're hell-bent on this, and it makes no sense.
I think
that's the problem, is that you can't come up with a logical reason as to why to do it.
Right.
I was sitting there Sunday morning, and then when the 3-on-3 started, I'm like, well, that's too bad. But I think everyone knew going in. And then I'm like, wow, the closing ceremonies. Is it TV time? And then I started thinking, I'm like, poor other networks this morning. Like, especially in Canada, like, who else was watching anything else on TV besides that? I was like, I should flip around here as a joke. It's just when that Ontario commercial came on.
It's like the Super Bowl, right? Like, who's doing counter programming at 7 o'clock on the Sunday?
Yeah. When you look at the Olympics, though, overall, and all sports, and how Canada did, and 21 medals, 5 golds, I'll say only, nowhere near previous years. Like, what's your takeaway from the whole, thing?
Like, it's teetering on the brink of disaster.
Oof.
And that's not without hyperbole, guys. Like, let's go back. Okay, so 21 this year. The previous Olympics was 26. The prior Winter Olympics to that was 29. Like, this is now kind of downwards. And you look at who was winning those medals. Like, 10 of the 21, first of all, came from speed skating. All of them Olympic vets in either their second, but for the most part, third, some fourth and fifth Olympic Games. There's no pipeline coming of athletes to really kind of take this on, take this over. And so the total number of medals is reducing, while the number of sports is actually increasing. there has to be a decision made by the public sector, by the government, of whether or not this is going to be a priority for us. Because what's happening now, keeping the kind of cash distribution the same as it was in 2010, how far did your dollar go in 2010 when you went to McDonald's or a grocery store or travel? Well, if it's going to be the same amount of funding, guess what? It's a lot less than it was 16 years ago and moving ahead.
You talked about on this, and I think you were the first one I actually heard talking about a lady by the name of Summer McIntosh, and it was, Summer Olympics, and you talked about it, and then we saw what she did, and it was amazing. There's really no brand, there's no name, there's no sizzle like that besides our hockey team on the winter side in Canada.
And this is part of the problem, is that when you don't have the next gen kind of coming, the next gen pushing, when you don't have funding for development programs, you don't have funding for facilities. I made this point actually, Barney, last week, is that you look at, 10 of our 21 medals are speed skating, right? So speed skating, we have an Olympic oval in Calgary because we hosted the 88 Olympics. That place is literally falling apart. It was 44 years ago.
Yeah.
We do not have domestically the infrastructure right now. And there's talk, the Canadian Olympic Committee wants to get another, they wanted to have a bid for Calgary 2026. The citizens of Calgary in a referendum shot that down. They're going to try and bid for another one. But we need more resources for our athletes. We need more resources to get them competing. We had a medalist who actually is sticking around Europe for the next few weeks before the World Championships because he can crash on a buddy's couch. And then he won't have to pay for a flight home and then a flight back and to stay in a hotel. This is how, as a country, we're treating the best of our best.
Going out and getting cheeseburgers.
I don't know if they're 69-cent cheeseburgers, right? I mean, that's the next thing. Jen Heil, who's the chef de mission, she won a silver medal at Vancouver 2010, I think, in the moguls. Jen Heil said, our athletes are literally going to grocery stores and their teammates and their coaches are like, where's your produce? And the athletes are like, I can't afford the produce. And these are high performance athletes. What are we doing as a country? Come on.
I think part of the problem is accessibility, right? If I'm a young kid from Shaunavon, Saskatchewan, and I want to do biathlon, where am I even beginning that road? I think there's not our country is so huge and so spread out that to do those things, they're just not readily available. And I guess that comes down to making it funding as well. There's not mountains to ski in every province. They don't have the means. And two, I guess it also comes down to what is the public's interest? Just playing devil's advocate here, is the public,
sure.
Does the public care? Does the public care that we don't do great at the Olympics? With cost of living and the cost of groceries and cost of everything and your dollar having to go further, are people willing to give that money to support somebody to, and again, I'm playing devil's advocate here, to play a game, to go and ski and represent Canada? Is that, have our priorities as a general society just shifted so far away that, yeah, the Olympics are nice, but you're going to do it on your own thing. We don't have the means to help you. I mean, you still have the corporate sponsorship, which should be enough when you look at how much money corporate.
Yeah, there's nowhere near enough. There's no appetite corporately because all they care about is quarterly shareholders. So this is what's going to happen, is that if there isn't support, any athlete we're going to end up sending to international events are going to be country club, silver spoon,
cake eaters
who can afford it. Yeah, who can afford it. Look, and Harry, I hear what you're saying, but I just don't buy it. Alphonso Davies is from Edmonton, Alberta. He is the best left back in soccer in the world. Tell me about outdoors in Edmonton from Halloween until Easter. I grew up in rural Nova Scotia. There's this kid, Wyatt Sanford, a boxer. Wyatt's from Kennetcook, Nova Scotia. When he competed at Paris 2024, I did a little piece on him. His municipality has a population of under 1,000. They have a little park, and people brought lawn chairs, and they had a bed sheet out of the band shell, and they just streamed his fights there. People came from all around. Wyatt learned how to box in his backyard. Like, no one's saying, hey, you're going to start when you're 8 years old and you're going to need all of these things. But once you reach a high performance level, that's when you're going to need it. And we don't have it. We don't have it.
Those are outliers, though. Wouldn't you rather it be the norm where you've got a biathlon program in your city that can start cultivating those kids rather than have to rely on one kid rising up from thousands and thousands?
But Harry, this is not professional sports, and this is the beauty of the Olympics. The beauty of the Olympics is that anybody can do it. The beauty of the Olympics is that the majority are what we would consider to be outliers. Nobody really gets into a development program until they're 14, 15, 16 years old. This is not hockey. This is not high-performance sport until a certain age. There are a lot of people who get started in some of these sports later in life. Some of them fall into it by accident. Some of them were doing one sport and then they just fell into another and went on with it. Jesse Lumsden was a multiple Olympian in bobsled. Jesse Lumsden carried the football for McMaster University as a running back and played in the CFL. The beauty of the Olympics is that it's not what we think it is. It is that it's all about community. It's all about people coming from all over.
I think my take on it is I agree with both of you, but I think having a 14-year-old turning 15 and a 12 turning 13, and I see maybe not so much them, but I see some of their peers and where they are now focused on one sport and their training is focused, and we're talking supplements, we're talking diet and all that, and to each their own. And if you have the means, go nuts, do whatever you got to do. And then you see the kid that has not even a sniff of that and is eating the cheeseburgers or the ramen noodles and all that. And at some point, it's like, well, you're going to get passed. And we see that at the Olympic level with these other countries. And we're seeing it now. It's like you talked about the guy sleeping on the couch. Or I think the most embarrassing story that would have came out is we bought a used bobsled that you mentioned from Germany. It's like, you hide that story, burn that. Like, that actually came out. I'm like, what is going on? We couldn't get some sponsor to, how much is a bobsled run? Colson, look up a used bobsled.
Barney, the answer to that question is no.
Jeez.
And that's the unfortunate part. Is the answer to that question has been, continues to be, shows to be no. Like, let's just take a step back from it. Let's not even talk about the Winter Olympics. Let's talk about summer. Like, when you think about what the Olympics are to me, bigger, stronger, faster, it's track and field, it's weightlifting, it's wrestling. Like, way back at the beginning of the Olympics, the barbaric stuff of fee-fi, fo-fum. So you kind of put them all together and, like, shot put. Like, anybody can take a rock and throw it as far as they can. Like, that's really the genesis of what that sport was. It's literally something anybody could do.
Who's picturing someone just picking up a rock and throwing it now and that being an Olympic sport? I think that'd be awesome.
But what do you have? Track and field is mainly about running. It's about jumping, and it's about throwing. Okay? So the world champion in women's shot put going into Paris 2024, the last Summer Olympics, is a woman by the name of Sarah Mitten. Sarah Mitten is from Brooklyn, Nova Scotia, the outskirts of Liverpool. Sarah grew up, her father literally hammer and nail a wooden slab in their backyard dug out a little circle, and that's where Sarah learned how to throw the shot put and practice throwing the shot put. It wasn't until she ended up going to university at the University of Windsor. It wasn't until her 4th year at the University of Windsor she ended up on the team that went to the World University Games, and then she got into the high development program. So I hear about sports specialization. It literally might be the stupidest thing that goes on in kids sport. And Barney, I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but I think it's worth reiterating as we're having this conversation. Because about 10 years ago, maybe a little more, 12 years ago, not that long, we're not talking about fee-fi fo-fum. There was this dude who was an all-state infielder in baseball. I think he played shortstop. He was a middle infielder. And he was a point guard in high school. And he happened to play quarterback. And then he went to college. And his first year in college, he played football and he played baseball. There was no meathead coach at age 9, 10, 11. His dad would have told him to shove it if they said such a thing. That said, you have to do this. Now, what happened to that kid? His name is Patrick Mahomes. Like, it worked out okay that at age 8 and 9 and 10, nobody put him on this, well, you have to play travel baseball or there's no opportunity for you.
It's tough. And yet, like, until you have kids and you see it, and it is very much are we going to let them then just get past? Are we? Because you can never go back. It's not a video game. You can't blow out the cartridge and put it back in. And then so in 6 months from now, you go, are we making the right decision? Like, it is intense. I've been there. I went the other way where I'm like, no, they don't need to do it. Don't need to. Don't go do something else. But then you live with that fear of like, well, shoot. Are they going to get lapped? Are they going to get passed? Are we not giving them the opportunity? Why are we doing this? And all that. So
let me just tell you this one. How about this? Sunday's game. Probably the most impactful player on the ice. Never played Tier 1 rep hockey. Never went on a travel team in hockey. Never made a development camp. But he played on his high school team, and then he went to college, and then he won a Vezina, and then he won Olympic gold. And that's Connor Hellebuck. There isn't one way to do it. And just because there's somebody coaching 11-year-olds who tell you something doesn't mean they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, no, I totally agree that the only rebuttal and the devil's advocate thing on that would be that are you willing to take the risk? Is it an odds thing? Do you play the odds? And a lot of parents will go, I'm going to play the odds and I'm going to do this. Not that I agree with it. It's a very slippery slope, and I get why people do it. I don't know. I don't totally agree with it. There's literally something coming up here that I said, no, they don't need to do it. And partially because I'm a cheap Ukrainian sometimes. And other facts, it's like, no, they can go golf. They can play flag football. They can fish. Go do other things. I think it's, and my wife, more her, she's smarter. It's like their brains need to do other things to develop other parts of their brain. They're still a kid. Their brain's still developing. Like, the fishing thing is doing something to the brain, and just like a golf is. It's just not always like, boom, let's go, let's lift, let's jump, let's do all. Anyway, are we even on the air? I'm going off now. Hey, I can't find a used bobsled for sale. Okay. Colson, I don't know if you did, but does it sound right that they run about $200,000?
Brand new ones, yeah.
$200K. Come on, we couldn't get someone to. Like $200K, I know it's a lot of money, but you can't throw sponsorship on it at the Olympics. I guess when you get back, you can do things. Okay, let's turf the Olympics for a sec, because I want to ask you about football.
Yeah.
And the and Glen Suitor's coming on in hour 5, and I don't know what he's going to say, but he is pissed something fierce about the UFL.
What's he mad about?
I don't know. What do you know about this league? What is happening? I haven't been following it at all.
So they're trying different things among them. So the UFL is spring football It's 4 down, tackle, outdoors, etc.
They're playing drunk and they're eating cheeseburgers. Now, I would watch that.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's, the aftermath of the XFL, and they use that league as a testing ground, really, that the NFL has. That spider cam that we see, I mean, that was one of the byproducts, but they're really kind of rolling the dice. They're shaking things up this year. If you kick a field goal of 60-plus yards this season, it counts as 4 points, not 3. They've removed the tush-push altogether because they just want to see what teams are going to do, what they can do. If you go inside the opponent's territory, if you cross the 50-yard line, you can't punt. Now, I think this one's really interesting. Of all the ones that they've tried. After a touchdown, okay, you can kick an extra point, but this time from the 33-yard line, so it's a 50-yard field goal. That counts as 1. You can go for a 2-point conversion, balls at the 2-yard line. Or you can go for 3 from the 8-yard line. So it's changing things up. It's trying different things. It's throwing things against the wall. And what I find amazing about it is that nobody is calling into question the morality of the institution of the game and the history of American football and what it stands for, just because they're trying a few different things.
I like it. Now watch the text line light up here. Harry, what do you think about all that?
I won't watch. I don't care. I could care less. It's not going to last. It's the same thing, XFL, okay, they had a run to the ball at the center line to start the game. It lasted a game. It's dumb. Who cares?
A video. What a video that is.
Yeah, this league, if it lasts 3 years, I'd be shocked. Pull the tape. I bet I'll take any money that this league does not last more than 3 years. There's not a chance.
Well, they're already in their third, so you're saying this is it.
They're not. It's not in this incantation. They're not in their 3rd year. It's a bastardized version of 4 other leagues. So this is their 1st year.
They merged in 24. This is their 3rd year.
Yeah. No, not interested.
I'm not either. I'll watch one game.
Could care less.
I want to see someone go for 3.
Yeah, me too.
What
the one I like, I actually don't mind if it's a 60-plus yard field goal, it counts as 4 points. I don't mind that one, actually.
Where's the windiest stadium? And how key is that 4th quarter, which way the wind is going? So no tush pushes in this one?
No tush pushes in this one. The NFL, by the way, will not be banning the tush push for next season. It's going to remain in effect for at least the 2026 season. That just came out of the combine.
I heard that this morning. Do you think that if the Eagles would have won the Super Bowl, would it be a different story?
That is a very good question. That's a great question, Barney. I mean, the topic just died once the Eagles were eliminated.
I know.
And it's amazing, so much of football is a copycat league, and yet nobody can effectively copycat what the Eagles do, which is also amazing because the guy who's actually snapping the ball, the center, the tush, in the tush push, it's a different tush. And it still hasn't made an impact. Philly can still execute it well, and nobody else can do it even close to as well as they do.
Yeah.
Interchangeable tushes. That's what we have in football today.
Wow, we went long here today. Yeah. Okay. This is good. Lots to unpack. Everybody who's craving a cheeseburger, raise your hand.
Always.
Oh, man. It's so good. All right, Arash, talk to you Thursday, bud.
See you, boys.
See ya.
Coast to Coast with Arash Madani for Brian Gawley and Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley. Holy text messages that we got to get to. We hit a spot on a number of things, starting with orange juice from McDonald's, which apparently you can still get in the States. I need visual. We need visual proof of that, please. SportsCage will be right back. Get your trivia. Get your dialing fingers ready for trivia. We're coming back after this. All right, clutch performer for Kellen Solar. Harry, I'm going to let you go first because mine, I think people are going to be angry with me. whatever. What's yours?
Okay, mine's a quick one. Mine goes to rapper Flavor Flav. Ooh. He's the clutch performer. He came out today and stated that he would host the American women's hockey team for a party in Las Vegas to celebrate their gold medal. And he was hitting up airlines and restaurants to pay for it, but he's basically extended an invitation to the women's hockey team to come and celebrate in Vegas since the whole men's Trump
They have
debacle.
accepted the invitation to what I've heard. So
there we go.
What-
They've accepted it.
What would the odds have been that Flavor Flav would have done that? Who
Well,
thought
he's a
Flavor
huge
Flav
Olympic
was...
guy.
Oh, okay. That's
He's like
pretty
Snoop.
cool.
He's a huge Olympic guy and a huge social issues guy.
That's cool. Good. Favorite Public Enemy song around the horn here, starting with Harry.
Oh, Bring the Noise featuring Anthrax every day, all day.
Colson, do you even know who Public Enemy is? I knew that.
Nope.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, man. It's a wild building over here. No one doesn't know
insane.
who Public Enemy. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Or what was the Apocalypse? The first song on that Apocalypse Strikes Back. It's not even really a lot of rapping.
Right. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Man, there's a lot of good stuff to unpack there. Okay, don't be mad at me out there, please. But I gotta say, my clutch performer is whoever stole a power pole from down south of Regina. What? How does this? Can someone please? 936-6262. What are you gonna do with it? You're gonna cut it up? You're gonna do what? I need to know how they. I'm thinking they would have chained it up, ripped it down, and then it's like the news stories that I read. It's like, and then they put it on a truck. Like, you're not just putting that in the back of someone's F-150. Like, you need a 53-foot flatbed. You need a flatbed, some sort. I don't understand why someone would steal a power pole, and how come this is the first we've ever heard of this? Is this going to start a trend?
The fact that it happened in January and we're just hearing about it now is odd.
Please, let's not make this a copycat thing, because then power grids are going to go down. As somebody stole a power pole again. What world are we living in? That could be it for me. I might move to the woods and just live. So that might be if we start stealing power poles on the regular. Oh, those are good. Flavor Flav. I'm definitely listening to Public Enemy on the way home now. Clutch performer is for Kellen Solar in Lumsden right now. If you're thinking about solar maybe and installing it, they are scheduling quotes. You can let them know. Kellen Solar in Lumsden. They can come out, check out your operation. Maybe it's a cabin, a home, a farm, whatever. Kellen Solar, local family-owned business in Lumsden, Saskatchewan, for all your solar needs. Okay. Right now, 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. You have to call. Okay? We're playing for $100. PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia. I'm going to give the question, Colson. How many times has Canada's men's hockey team won silver at the Olympics? 936-6262. $100 on the line. Call now. We'll be right back with more SportsCage. All righty. Not a lot going on. NHL fires back up tomorrow, but Saskatchewan teams in the Western Hockey League, Moose Jaw Warriors battling for a playoff spot. They were in action. Played at noon. In Calgary, they lose 5-4 to the Hitmen. Penticton V's are in Swift Current tonight. Broncos welcoming them. Those are the Saskatchewan teams in action in the WHL. SJ LaRange making the trek into Melville, 7 p.m. there. 7:30 in Flin Flon. Nipawin is on the Hanson Lake Highway up north. How about a little Senior A Provincials in Kenaston? Game 2, Foam Lake needs a win to stay alive. 8 p.m. puck drop in Kenaston. Try the gravy. The 10 out of 10 gravy. Big Bantam AA game at the Ritchie tonight. Aces hosting Weyburn. Playoff implications 7:45. That is for Extreme Hockey and Sport. Home of the price match guarantee. Located regular spot at the Cooperator Center and now in Moose Jaw at the Temple Garden Center. They're local. They support local. Extreme Hockey and Sport.
It's time for SportsCage Trivia for PumpJacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
Okay, PumpJacks Cathedral Trivia for $100 at PumpJacks Cathedral, where the Kerwin crispy ribs are my personal those chicken nuggets or fingers that they brought in before the Super Bowl party, off the charts. Homemade, so good. Not greasy, not, slimy. Oh, they were so good. Anyway, PumpJacks Cathedral. Tony on the line from Regina? Yeah. Tony, are you there?
Got Tony. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. All right. Tony, the question was, we're going to give you 10 seconds. How many times has Canada's men's hockey team won silver in the Olympics?
I'm going to guess 5.
Funky Tony. You got it. $100. Good job.
Awesome.
If you can give me, besides this year, 2 other years that they did it, I'm going to throw in a bonus SportsCage SJHL hat. 2 other years besides this year.
Okay, how about 92?
You got it.
And 94.
Tony, double winner today. Stay on the line. Colson's gonna take your info. Be like Tony.
Awesome.
People out there, be like Tony. Call in PumpJacks Cathedral and he wins a hat. Do you know, Harry, what I learned today, and I didn't know this? Yeah, I've always heard about Squaw Valley, where the U.S. won their first gold medal. It's in California, which I was like, well, that's a weird place to have the Olympics in 1960. Canada finished second in that one. Canada got the silver medal in Squaw Valley against America, and it was like a local rep team from Ontario or something like that. Man, Google has been my friend the last 2 weeks, searching, and today looking for used bobsleds. Okay, what do we got for time? You heard the power pole story?
Me?
Yeah. Did you hear that someone stole the power pole?
Yeah, I read the article. Yeah.
Jeff in Calgary on the text line saying, seems far-fetched that you could steal a power pole. I know.
It does. Totally does.
It's like, what? Okay. Text line, no name. You should have put your name, because this is a really good text message here in the Prairie Line Rentals text line. In curling, do they play a full extra end, or do they throw 4 rocks? The old 3-on-3 hockey overtime. That's a good comparison, I guess. Ed, speaking of the funding for the Olympic teams, Ed says, what the hell do they do with all the millions in lottery Ed, you can audit them especially if you're an accountant. I like how you think. Again, no name again on this one. We as a country need to start supporting our athletes. Why not start an Olympic lottery where the funds go to support athletes? People love 50-50. There's no easier thing to make money in this country, in this province. Run a 50-50. People just want to buy. How much? $20? Sure. I got a chance to win something? Sure. You tell people to donate, and they're like, meh. Well, then just cut that in half. James is saying Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao rematch coming up. I'm guessing Floyd has burned through hundreds of millions, just like Mike years ago. That caught me off guard.
I can't. Yeah, it's no. All kinds of no.
Is Tyson fighting again too? Did I read that somewhere?
Not that I've heard of. I am, though, a little morbidly interested in the Carano-Rousey fight.
Yeah, lots of people are. Me, I don't know. I'm sure I'll watch it that evening. I don't know. Right. Joseph in Regina, not to be confused with Joe in Regina. No problem with our government helping every other country at the drop of a hat with billions of dollars, but do not support our athletes. We leave them high and dry. Good one, Joseph. I like that. There's a few others with no names kind of on that thing. Pat Power poles make great clotheslines, poles, or skids. They are hard to come by. Just saying. Come on. Where is this power pole? What are they doing with it?
Yeah.
Brizzy was the one that messaged in about curling and four ends. So four rocks, sorry. There's about some more here with no name, but they're all kind of going down the funding for Canadian athletes is embarrassing. It is. Jeff was saying I'm not watching Pacquiao.
No. I think the problem that we run into is that a lot of people don't feel the impetus that sports needs money. I think that they just don't understand or they don't care enough. I don't think I think it's just not enough in the public forefront that biathlon people and bobsled people and cross country people and speed skating people, like, they need money to do their sports. I just don't think that I guess that falls on our Canadian Olympic organization, that they don't do enough PR, they don't push enough, they don't try to command funding anyhow.
Yeah.
And so people just it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Whereas other countries, they dedicate more resources and knowledge to knowing about their Olympic programs.
Colson, can you find that one text message, which I was going to read this when Arash was on. I thought it was really cool. Hopefully they're still listening. That there's a biathlon team, something in Esterhazy. So we have a biathlon program in Esterhazy. If you are interested, there is a place for you. I think
Amazing.
That's awesome. Send us more information.
Awesome.
I would like to do a story on that. I'm probably not going to go out there and try it because if you're watching on the line, you see me. I don't look like much of a biathlon. That's the cross country skiing and shooting? You would for sure try it.
I would 100% try that. Yeah.
Yeah, see more political stuff here on. I get it, but not to get whatever. Don't get political. Who cares? If we had a different government, let's say, would there maybe be more money filtered through to athletes? I wonder. I'm curious.
Yeah,
because wasn't it Vancouver that we gave like tons of cake?
I feel like sports isn't that polarizing of an issue that it's that it should be that much of a. It shouldn't really matter who the party in charge is. Sports is sports. Like, I feel like both parties, any party, not just both, any party would find value in people playing sport. I feel like it shouldn't be that political of an issue.
There's something to run for on the next platform for the Green Party if they get in. More funding for the athletes. Okay, we're going to hour 3. Glen Suitor
Can't wait.
Coming, and Can't wait. He is pissed about something with the UFL. His message was so short with me. I can't. And we have more giveaways. If you want to go see live, Throwing Copper, great album, 94 release, maybe 93. They're playing with Big Wreck and Econoline Crush in Saskatoon Sunday. I have 2 tickets in my hand that we are going to give away in the next hour. It's a Sports Cage, streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com and on the mighty 620 CKRM. It is Tuesday. That means it's brought to you by Saskatchewan Lotteries, like he said. All of our guests are joining us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Perfect night for a little Western Zaw. And then thanks to all you participating on the Prairie Land Rentals text line at 936-6262, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owner at Prairie Land Rentals. Text of the day for me. And I think we could fact check this, but we do that sometimes here. No name, Harry, but they said they stole the power pole because there was a transformer on it. Supposedly, the transformer contains
copper.
Okay.
Copper wire.
The pole was deserted in a farmyard. Now it all makes sense to me. I'm thinking people are just wandering around. They want the pole. I'm like, what the heck do you want the pole for? How are you getting that pole out of anywhere? Who's got the flatbed trailer? Who's the heat bag? driving around loading up poles on the back of a flatbed truck. Okay, now it all makes sense. But I'm just worried now in our society and where we are, and slap of the wrist, and I don't have to talk to you about it. How are we going to see this like often now? Are people going to start ripping down power poles that have transformers with copper? And oh man, yeah.
Do you think they made their gas money back on that?
Yeah, how much? There's another question. 936-6262. How much copper would be in a transformer? What's the going rate on copper? How much is it worth your while? How much copper do you need?
Not enough.
I got so much crap in my garage. I probably have something with a lot of copper. Is it worthwhile for me to? And where do I take this copper? Is there a copper guy? Do I have to know a guy?
Yes. There's a copper guy.
Okay.
Yes.
Just look it up online. Regina's copper guy.
Aren't your fillings copper?
Speaking of that, I've been having a tweak on the one side here, and I'm going into the old dentist on Thursday. Okay, thanks to everyone who cleared that up. There is a lot of copper in an electric car. Okay. And Ed also said there was a McDonald's cooler on Facebook Marketplace for $40 a few months ago. I'm still kicking myself for not going for it. Understandable, yep. Ed, but let me tell you right now, that is one of those things that you buy and it takes up a lot of space, and you probably use it once. You're like, oh, I'm going to show up to this party with this old McDonald's cooler, and you do it, and everyone's like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. And then it's just a pain in your butt. It's just sitting in your garage. It's taking up space.
You have to repurpose it. You have to fill it with golf balls or something like that instead. It's more of a conversation piece than a utilitarian use of it.
Or put some plants in it, put it on your front step. If you're married, your wife will not go for that. If you're a single gentleman,
that's getting vetoed immediatody.
It's like the guy.
That's a single guy's move. That's a balcony of my apartment move. That's
and the Pilsner flag as a drape, as some sort of curtain. There was
a single guy move.
There was a guy. There was a guy. I was at a bar. You'll love this story because you and I kind of have the same humor when it comes to this. I was at a tavern Saturday in between hockey games, kids and all that. And somebody yelled out to the guy across the bar, these people are day drinking, whatever. Cool. I've been there, all that. And it was a place that you and I, like I probably wouldn't go there a ton. But this guy yells, hey, are you coming tomorrow morning for the game? They're opening at 6:30. And this guy says, I'm still gonna be here. Yeah, right. And you can picture what this guy looked like, what he was dressed in. I was like,
absolutely.
That guy's not making it to 6:30 tomorrow morning.
If you asked me to sketch him in a composite, they'd pick him up in about half an hour.
Exactly. Oh man, so fun. It's good to be back. Ready to go? Let's go with Glenn.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Rough Rider legend Glen Suitor on the SportsCage.
We've had lots of fun. Hey Glenn, nice to see you. I made it back.
A copper guy. You had me laughing out loud with, is there a copper guy? How do I get the copper guy?
What the hell do you do with him? I need to know. And not that I'm going to go start stealing copper. I'm probably a little beyond that. But where are they taking this? And isn't that like massive flags when they roll into a place with half a transformer? Hey, where'd you get that?
All good questions. All excellent questions.
Tell no lies.
I know it says SportsCage, but if you've followed this program for the last almost 2 years, we do talk other things, and I think this is this is something we need to get to the bottom of this week, Colson. We need to find out. Maybe I'll just record myself going in and finding out how much copper is and what the copper guy has to say. Is there select or I don't know. I'm probably missing out on it. Do you, Glenn, do you remember, and it would have been around the time that you were playing for the Rough Riders. Here, do you remember when McDonald's had the orange drink and they put it in the tubs?
Oh, yeah. I don't ever remember going through a McDonald's drive-through prior to midnight. It was always post-midnight that I would go through a McDonald's drive-through. You know, back in the days when I thought I was an athlete, that was, you know, those were big treats. But I do remember, you know, I do remember the orange drink and the constant question of what is really in those burgers and stuff. And, you know, I'm sure it's all good. And I'm not criticizing McDonald's. I just remember thinking the drive-through at 2 a.m., I'll have an orange drink and 2 cheeseburgers.
Oh, 2. You were,
oh yeah,
yeah.
And then inevitably on the other side they'd say, "Would you rather just have a Big Mac? There's 2 patties in that." No, 2 cheeseburgers, please.
More
and the orange drink.
Quarter pounder with cheese. I remember the days when my dad would get a quarter pounder with cheese, and I was a kid, and I was like, "Oh, that's a man's burger right there." And now I look at a quarter pounder and cheese and go, "Please."
Yeah.
There's a senior hockey game in Kenniston tonight, and I know what kind. They're co-op. They use co-op burgers, or I've seen them with the box, and they are so good. You know those rink burgers and that smell. Oh man, it's I don't know how I got on this topic.
But now you're hungry. But now you're hungry. Hey, by the way, do you have to pay a copper guy? You have to pay him. Remember the Seinfeld when he was getting a new apartment? He was getting a new apartment. He said, "You got to pay a wood guy. You got a fireplace. You got to pay a wood guy." I mean, yeah.
Okay, here. Slow down, cowboy. Copper. Trevor from Regina, friend of the program, texting often. Copper is costly. We figured that out. We know that because the people are stealing it from weird places, Trevor. But he says an average rooftop unit, you get between $350 and $500 in scrap copper. Take it to Inland Metal. Air conditioner units are definitely worth salvaging. That's why you see air conditioning units full of barbed wire nowadays, because, yeah, I get it, $350 to $500 in scrap copper. The Inland Steel guy, or wherever these people, they're the pawn shops of the 80s and 90s. You know these people are bringing in, it's hot. You know it's hot. You feel dirty, but you're in that business. I'm not going to judge.
So clearly, pretty soon, the gold medals will be copper. The copper medals are the top of the podium.
There we go. Yeah, we're on to something. Copper. Man, $350 to $500 in scrap copper from an average unit. What about one of those transformers, Trevor? Not that I hope the criminals aren't listening to the program, because I don't want the copper. It's like, oh.
Quick Google says that copper can range from $1.65 to $6.70 a pound, depending on how good it is.
That makes no sense to me, but okay. It's a pound. How much is a pound of copper?
Seems like you need to cut down a lot of poles. No? I don't know. We're going down a road here that none of us really know what's going on with.
Look at these text messages. Little did we know that at 5:00 at 5:18 on a Tuesday, we start talking copper and the phone lines light up. The text line lights up. I love it.
Who knew?
I absolutely love it. Okay, but let's get down to because you're angry. You're an angry human about something when it comes to the UFL.
Well, and I'm here for it.
Yes, this goes back to last week. And last week, I hope you had a good holiday, by the way, Barney. I'm sure you did. But last week, we talked about players trying to choose between the UFL or the CFL, and which opportunity would give them the better chance to get back into the NFL, or to get into the NFL for a real young player. So if you're a young player coming out of college, and you didn't get drafted, you're not going to go to an NFL camp, or you've been to a couple and didn't make it, but you'd like to get one more shot, is it a better opportunity to go from the UFL, go play in the UFL for a year, or to go play in the CFL for a year. And, we were discussing it in a professional manner, which is not what you see on social media, which is fine. Fans don't have to be professional. It's different.
Keep in mind, we just talked about Copper and having a Copper guy. We call us professional. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I mean, with a little bit of reason behind it, not the name calling things and stuff like that gets out of hand. But no, so that was the discussion last week. And my point was, for a professional athlete, time is your most valuable currency. And if you go and, go to a camp, go to the UFL, play spring ball, and let's say midway through the season, based on their history, these are facts, not my opinion, but based on their history, they haven't lasted very long. And they've been, it's been a year at times. I mean, this is 3 or 4 different types of leagues that have grown. There was XFL 1, there was XFL 2.0, there was the merger between the 2 leagues, and now there's the UFL. So, with all that change, I think it was Darnell Sankey who played in the UFL, or I think the XFL, whatever version it was at the time, who came back and said, that's it for me there. I can establish myself here in Canada. I can become a player here in Canada. And if the NFL wants to come by, they'll find me. And that was my point last week. So from that, there was all kinds of social media engagement that I hate the UFL, which couldn't be further from the truth. Because for me, any other league in football, whether it's flag, all the way through UFL, USFL, whatever, even playing over in Europe, which I went and saw a couple of games, when, any way that we can keep players active, playing at the top levels they can at the time, just stay in the system, stay playing, stay getting that experience. And that's what spring football does. So I actually like that there's that opportunity for players. I'm not worried about the talent drain at all. There's plenty of players to go around for basically 3 leagues in North America. So that was the discussion. And then social media went crazy, including one guy here. I'll find it because I've got a couple for you. Well, first of all,
got receipts.
First of all, it started. I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to name them because I don't get into this social media stuff because But there was one saying, guys in Canada. He actually said guys on Canada, but I'm sure he meant in Canada. Praying for your downfall. Make these guys like at Glen Suitor eat their words. Okay, there is that one. There was this one which said. He said a couple of podcasts ago that American receivers in the CFL should be happy Canadian receivers move the needle because without them, the wages would be like UFL. He hates UFL football. Okay. First of all, that's a different topic. And we can discuss that too, because Canadians like Sam Emilus do push the salaries up for American receivers. That also is fact. And then there was this one. It's so crazy that it seems like it's always CFL people that are so angry. Like, you all been around a long time. Why don't you just be secure in yourselves? And then this dude sounds like one of those typical CFL fans that still gets upset that another league is dipping into the talent pool. So if anyone wanted to ask my opinion on whether I like any other league in football, the answer is yes. I hope they survive. It's good for players. It gives them another opportunity, a chance to keep playing in games. That's important. But if you're talking about, can a young guy get noticed in the CFL? Equally as easy as the UFL, because, I had a conversation with Sean Payton, the head coach of the Broncos in Saskatoon a couple years ago. And I asked him about recruiting in Canada. He says, we recruit every single player in Canadian football. Every player, and every NFL team does. So if you're gonna take that jump and become an NFL player, you're gonna be noticed here in Canada as easily as in the UFL. So that's fact as well. And my opinion on UFL football with these rule changes, it just happened that comes down today. And I'll just give you one example. Like, again, this is a good thing for the NFL to have a league that is going to experiment with different rules. That's good for the NFL. Take a look at maybe something sticks. Maybe there is something that enhances the entertainment value of the game. Again, a real positive about a spring football league. But when you start going down the road of from the 60, a field goal is now 4 points, and there's a lot of people, I think, that kind of like this idea. What happens if I'm down by, whatever, and my receiver catches one at the 50? I have to deliver, and then we're running out of time. I have to deliberately lose 10 yards to go back and kick it from the 60 so I can make the 4 points I need to win the game. I mean, I just think you start to cross a lot of lines when it comes to sort of the integrity of the game. Let's see how some of them work out. I'm it's an experimental league in a lot of ways, and we'll see if it even lasts. But if anyone's wondering about whether I like other football leagues, I do. I love that flag football is taking off. This is good. Guys are playing. They're throwing and catching the ball. So maybe they get a chance in a pro tryout at some point through flag. Lots of guys are doing that now. I think Robustelli, as a matter of fact,
he was a college. He was really good in college. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my rant. One of those tweets came from a topic. The guy, it wasn't a guy, it was UFL media. So I don't know if that's just a guy that is calling himself UFL media, or maybe it is United Football Media for real. And if you're listening right now, I love spring leagues. Keep players playing. However, if a young guy wants to get to the NFL, coming to Canada is equally as good. And time is your most valuable currency as a pro football player.
Or copper.
Don't waste it. Or copper. Yeah, get as much copper as you can, and you need a copper guy.
I think where I struggle is the rule changes.
I saw that. I saw that on your face. I love it because it's such a whatever league. I'm like, let the guys play in jeans. Who cares?
Let your product stand on its own. If it's that good, like the NFL doesn't need to be reinvented. Like, why are you trying to reinvent the mousetrap? What are we going to start having spring hockey leagues where you use 2 pucks?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It's gimmicky. It's gimmicky. It really undermines your product because you're having to establish a gimmick to sell it. Oh, we've got rule changes. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like it undermines their credibility.
Yeah, and if let's say it was a different strategy, and it was what happened to The Rock, by the way? The Rock was all in on all of this stuff and kind of just quietly. He was like Homer Simpson in the bush. He just kind of backed away.
Yeah, totally.
But
he's a smart enough businessman to know when to pull that ripcord. It's like I'm out.
And that's what I mean.
To my tequila.
Yeah, that's what I mean about the currency. I mean, a time is your currency, because if you go down and get involved in that and you lose 2 years and you're 29 years old, those 2 years, the window for you to play pro, if you have the ability, is small. So every time you take a year off of that window, it's getting smaller and smaller, and then it's a porthole.
Especially football.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
and your
football.
average,
you can languish in the minors of baseball for years and years and get your shot at 28 or 31, but at football, 31, you're already past your prime.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going with these rule changes this drastically, like 1 and 2 and 3 point after touchdown extra points possibilities. And not allowed to punt when you go past midfield. That's another rule change. These are getting, like you said, Harry, so gimmicky, and you wonder if because so many leagues have tried and failed in that spring window.
Oh, yeah.
Their idea to try to be like, the sort of the feeder system for the NFL, that model has not worked. So that model doesn't work. So let's get really creative and change it.
That's the one thing that I've often thought about, and it's just I can't watch it. I've tried to watch it, and then you see the empty stadiums and the cheerleaders, and it's kind of like, oh, that's embarrassing. And then I'm always like, there's obviously so much money that some people have that they can dabble and try it out. But I'm wondering, what if, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's after the Olympics. What if for a month there is a professional flag football league? Because I'm invested in it, right? And I watch it. It is damn exciting. And all you need to do, I think, would be to have the countries or the geographical locations that hate each other. The Los Angeles versus the New York, then the Canada, then, you know what I mean? Like you want to make it personal in a way. I think that is something. The only thing is flag games are so short. Like they are 40 minutes long, basically playtime, a lot of them. So, but you could have 3 games in a window on a Saturday, and it's like today, Mexico versus Brazil versus Canada. I think that would be, maybe that's just for me though, that would be something I would watch. To watch Birmingham play Houston and, guys trying to kick it from 70 yards.
It's all about timing, though. Look how huge arena football was for a heartbeat.
Yeah.
There's no reason that flag football can't be the new arena football. Like, there's definitely a market for these fringe type of endeavors. It's just how you do it and the time that it comes along. And I think just changing the rules but keeping the game the same isn't the answer.
Well, guys, how about like a 4 Nations Cup where you have U.S., Canada, Mexico, and the best European team come over and play a tournament and see the popularity level. And even going into the Olympics, that would be an interesting to see what kind of coverage it would get. Would a network try to, get the rights to it? What would the audience look like? How would the stadium be full? Would people buy tickets for that? I think there'd be ways to test that, but the way it's growing and the popularity of it, when we get to the Olympics with flag football, I was thinking watching the gold medal game, which, by the way, what a great game to watch. That's why we love sports, and those opportunities, you just want to cry for the guy. Like, you get an emotional watching going, like, you're kidding me, 2 breakaways and we can't bury one of those guys, and one of the guys the best player in the world, and I'm not mad because it's so hard to win. The razor's edge, it's not because Canada's not good enough anymore. But I was thinking about the flag football connection, and America in hockey in the Olympics we're going to be in the other position. It's going to be switched in flag football. Everyone's going to expect America, the U.S., to dominate when we get to the flag football Olympics. And Canada is what the U.S. is in hockey, kind of climbing up, getting closer, better and better all the time, have beat them in tournaments before. We're going to be the underdog if it comes down to a gold medal game in a couple of years in the Olympics and flag football between Canada and the USA.
We have to qualify first. Only 6 teams. Only 6 teams. Right? That's scary.
Bart, you sound nervous.
Hey, and I'm not a big count my copper before it's hatched or ripped out from a pole guy. That's for sure. Here's a really crazy idea. And not to be crazy idea guy, but you know what would actually be really cool and would sell? And it would never happen because of injuries and all that. But this UFL circus wraps up regular season, Sunday, May 31st. I would suspect there's a playoff. I don't know what the format is, if it's just one game, two teams or whatever. If the champion of that league could play a CFL team in something like that, now you would have some eyeballs, especially north of the border.
What if a CFL team played against the NFL champion?
On what rules?
Yeah,
That's always
alternate.
the sticking point.
Yeah, like and you talk to Luke Mullender. You talk to who else was on the show? Well, you've seen it. You played the NFL as a whole, and the linemen. You're in tough, like because bigger, stronger, faster as a whole. Now you do have the Cameron Wakes that'll go down, or what's his name that was in Calgary that's now in Denver? Long-haired linebacker.
Singleton.
Alex Singleton, yes.
So, yeah. But I think something like this would maybe be more on a level playing field. Maybe. It's a lot like the 72 Summit Series. Like, when they were coming, I would love to know who came up with that and was like, I think this would be competitive. Because really, you had no idea. Like, it was there was no internet, there were no you didn't know, you heard about it, but you had no idea. It was like, all right, I guess we're really doing this, Yeah,
no, I don't think it'll ever happen obviously it'll never happen from the NFL. They have nothing to gain by playing any other league at any other time, whether it's Europe or here or wherever. So there's no upside for them. And, I think the closest we'll get to international, which is why I'm so pumped about flag football being part of the Summer Olympics in 2 years, because this is the only chance that we've had for our sport, football, a form of football, to be in the international stage in the Olympics, because of it can't be tackle. It can't be tackle because you can't play 6 games in 2 weeks, or even 4 games in 2 weeks. You can't. You can only play 1 game a week. And that's pushing it sometimes for a lot of guys in the injury situation and the physicality of the sport. So flag football is the answer, and it'll get people talking. And I can't wait till we qualify, Barney, and then we get there, and then, let's see the chips fall. But I'll tell you what, I'd buy a ticket. In fact, I've already talked to TSN about if we ever were involved in coverage of flag football in any form, whether it be a tournament prior to the Olympics or even going down to Mexico and doing a game or whatever, I volunteer to be part of the broadcast, because I would love to be part of course, my colleague Paul Lapalisse is the head coach of the Canadian team, so there's that too.
Can I be the sideline reporter? I'll do it for sticks and gas. I'll do it for a hotel room and a per diem. I think it'd be awesome.
And all the coffee you can find.
Yeah, I'm
that's
not wearing a suit.
That's my. Hey, we got the same contract. Just pay for my flight, pay for my hotel. I'll go call the game just for fun, and let's get people excited about the Canadian athletes, a lot of which we'll be learning about for the first time, probably because they didn't come from either the NFL or the CFL. As you've said, Barney, many times, the majority of that roster is probably going to be guys we didn't really know about a whole lot. So
I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be so cool. We went long today. I feel like we just started. we did talk about copper, though, for a good 7 minutes. And we have a lot of text messages on people really, really directing us where if we need to sell some copper. We don't. Although Ken says I got 2 ice cream pails of pennies. Time to sell. And then I looked it up. Pennies prior to 1982. Copper pennies between 62 and 82 is what you want. 95% copper, 5% zinc. 83 to present, more zinc. So until we're a zinc country, you got to go with the old ones.
Congratulations on your copper medal at the Olympics. Way to go. Now bite it. I heard you guys earlier today. Now take a bite out of it.
No. Go and bolt down your air conditioner. 2. Put some barbed wire around that over in your neck of the woods. Talk to you on Thursday.
Okay, gentlemen, take care. Have a great night.
See ya.
You too. Don't let the trolls get you down.
Yeah. Glen Suitor press coverage. Yeah, he doesn't usually go off on the social media people like that.
Well, he's smarter than that.
We had somebody that said maybe that they're just bots and they're jabbing Glenn, but the ones he read there, no, those seem personal. Seem like a human being. All right, we're going to break. SportsCage streaming through our YouTube channel at SportsCage. Do you want to win those tickets? If you're still listening, you want to go watch some rock and roll in Saskatoon on Sunday? Stay tuned. We'll come right back. All right. NHL hockey is back tomorrow. Hard to believe. I don't even know what the schedule is tomorrow. Let's look it up. Who plays?
There's quite a few games, I think.
Yeah, but like, those guys that were just over, they're not coming back, and I don't know, maybe some will. Like Connor McDavid's not playing tomorrow night, is he?
I don't think Edmonton doesn't play tomorrow night.
I thought they do.
There's a few guys. I don't think so. I've got Jari in one of my fantasy leagues. I don't remember seeing him as a starter.
Tomorrow, they do not play. No, they do in Anaheim.
I know some of the 5 American guys that didn't go to the White House were practicing with their teams, so I think they're expected to play.
Sprinkle of the day for Sports Select. That's where, like, we go to futures. The one I was wondering, and I don't see it at sportsselect.com yet for a future, because Harry, you and I will talk about it as it gets closer to, though. I thought there would maybe be a Masters up already. And I'm sure there will be. But this week... Okay, here we go. World Baseball Classic. I know nothing about the World Baseball Classic, but I'm sure be watching. And like, who won it last time? Japan? Okay, so you can go to sportselect.com and then the futures tab. And if you're a baseball fan, and I think a lot of us will be watching just because it's country versus country. If you're watching the stream, Colson has it up there. The USA is paying 180 as the favorite, followed by Japan at 4, the Dominican Republic at 450, Venezuela 950, Puerto Rico 1500. That's where Bad Bunny's from, right? Yep. I've been getting hit with a lot of Bad Bunny videos on my algorithm. I have no idea. It's actually quite catchy. Mexico's 23, and then Canada is 36. Seems like a stretch. Again, I know nothing about it. When does it start? Like couple weeks away?
March 5th to 17th.
Oh, so like next week.
Yep.
Will you be watching it, Harry?
I will probably watch the medal round games. I don't know if I'll watch Colombia versus Venezuela or anything like that. I definitely will be watching that. But I'll probably watch the playoff rounds.
Nicaragua's in tough. They're 285. They're the Brazil is the longest shot on the board at 316. There's a lot of countries in this thing.
There is a lot of countries. It's a lot of games.
Netherlands, Panama, Chinese
Australia.
Taipei, Great Britain, Israel, Czechia, and I want to see Canada and Czechia. But even if they stink, they'll play us tough. It'll be like a one run game. Czechia and Canada. So you can go and check out the futures for the World Baseball Classic at sportsselect.com. Make your picks online. Generate a QR code. Go to your Lotto Spot retailer if you don't want to fill out the slips. Scan, and there you go. Every bet is 100% legal. Chance of winning cash in hand. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Sports Select must be 18 plus to play. Colson, is something intriguing you there?
I'm just looking up the pools. So Czechia is in Pool C. And Canada is in Pool A. So the only way that they would play is if we both make it to the knockouts. I don't know if that's happening.
Okay. Sunday night in Saskatoon. I wish I could go to this. It is live. The band, they came out with the album Throwing Copper, I Alone. What were the other good tunes on that?
Lightning crashes.
Lightning crashes. How do you forget that?
S blank town.
Yeah. It's they are playing. They're so good. I've seen them twice live. They're good. Have you seen them live? Have you seen live?
I wish I was going.
They are with Big Wreck, which Big Wreck has a lot of good tunes as well. Yesterday, the Wolf was playing one, and I'm like, man, I haven't heard this song. And I'm like, 2001, and sure enough, 2001. And also Econoline Crush, Sunday night, SaskTel Center in Saskatoon. 2 tickets right now to give away. 936-6262. Text line, if you haven't won anything in 30 days on this radio station, there you go. Econoline Crush, Big Wreck, and live Sunday night in Saskatoon. Colson's going to pick a winner. 936-6262. Text in that you want to go and watch the rock and roll music Sunday night in Saskatoon. Okay, we're going to go to break. We'll come back with the ticker and a little bit more. It's a Sports Cage streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Oh, I got some text messages to get to. Saskatchewan teams in action in the Western Hockey League. It's already happened. It was an afternoon game. Moose Jaw losing to the Calgary Hitmen 5-4 in Calgary. Swift Current welcoming Penticton tonight, 7 p.m. SJHL, LaRange is in Melville at 7. The Nipawin Hawks traveled into Flin Flon at 7:30. Senior A, Game 2, big one in Kenaston. 10 out of 10 gravy. Great burgers. The Blizzards up 1-0 against Foam Lake. Foam Lake trying to stay alive. Force Game 3 Saturday, 8 p.m. puck drop in Kenaston. Big Bantam AA game at the Ritchie tonight. Playoff implications. Wayburn's in town taking on the Regina Aces, 7:45. It is for Steelcraft Doors in Regina. Made in Western Canada for Western Canadians. Steelcraft Doors, Regina, if you need a garage door. All right, Harry. Quickly, some of these text messages. I knew about this, but I didn't know. Bert says... Hey guys, in the middle of the 70s, Athletes in Action, a Christian fellowship, held 1, maybe 2 CFL versus NFL flag football games. I believe about 15,000, 16,000 showed up in 1 year at the old CNE Stadium in Toronto. Do some Googling. My point is, it's not really a crazy idea. It's actually been done. I kind of remember hearing stories about that back in the day. I think just now with contracts, money.
It's such more, it's a business.
Yeah, like guaranteed some of those guys smoked on the sideline.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have that anymore, but it's pretty cool. I'm going to look that up. The Christian Fellowship, Athletes in Action. Sounds legit. They might know a copper. A line on some copper. Where else do we got? Okay, I'm not going to read that one online. Oh, Maddie up in Saskatoon's listening. Colson, you got a bunch of people here wanting to win those tickets. Live, Econoline Crush, Big Wreck up in Saskatoon Sunday night. Okay, we got 2.5 minutes. It's been an awesome show. Glad to be back. What was the one thing that maybe you didn't get in so far today?
The one thing I didn't get in?
Yeah, like anything that was bothering you, or that
how demoralizing would it?
Somebody sent in a GIF. It's like, this is Harry talking about the UFL. Some guy in Saskatoon, and he agrees with you. He's like, I don't got any time for this. So yeah.
Yeah. No. How demoralizing would it be to be getting your silver medal and then handed that stuffy? The
Colson,
stuffies. The reactions were hilarious with the stuffies. Like, what am I supposed to do with this thing? Take it all the way home, give it to his nephew or my child?
Yeah, they usually do flowers. Right?
Yeah.
It's just at least give it to them at the same time as the do another lap is just time consuming.
Yeah, because normally they give a bouquet of flowers. At Paris, sure. I think they gave them a poster or whatever of the Olympics, like a limited edition thing. The stuffed animal is just the mascot for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Should have a prepaid Visa gift card or something like that. Everybody can use that.
A ring of copper.
Give that away. It was a lot of fun. Learned a lot today. Learned a lot about copper. pennies. McDonald's orange drink. Cheeseburgers used to be 69 cents. Arash, if you want to go back and listen to any of it, podcast form is the way to do it. Eric Francis was an hour one. That was fun. Then Arash Madani. Also Glen Suitor. Harry, always a pleasure. Thanks so much
Thank
for
you.
riding today. I'll be back tomorrow. Don Hewitt, a little Rob Vanstone. We're talking Grey Cup in Calgary, and Luke Mullender hopefully tomorrow. Thanks for riding along. Colson and I are back tomorrow. We'll see you then.